All right, so it's Memorial Day weekend. And, in fact, I'm filling in for Doc Thompson on Monday at 9 o'clock. And we'll get into the differences between the term celebrate and the term observe. We'll do that on Monday. But here it is, Memorial Day weekend, a weekend where we step back and honor the well over 1 million individuals, men and women, that gave their lives for this country, in service to this country, and the men and women who died preserving and defending the freedoms of our country. So, that's what the weekend really is about. It's not really about Taste of Cincinnati. It's not about barbecues, and it's not drinking a cooler full of beer in your backyard. So what does the Milford Police, what do the Milford Police do on this weekend? Anyone? Anyone? Well, they're just stopping cars at random. Yes. Stopping cars at random last night between 6 and 9 o'clock. There were 4 police officers, I would imagine 4 police cars, with a checkpoint between 6 and 9 o'clock at Milford Parkway near River's Edge. Let's see here. Pulling over motorists at random, directing them into a parking lot. Why? Was this a different variation on an OVI checkpoint? No. What they were doing was pulling over motorists, pulling over maybe you, maybe your friends, maybe your wife, your husband, to make sure they were buckled up. Isn't that grand? On this weekend where we honor those that gave their lives to make sure we are free and we're a free country, now they're just stopping cars at random. And we put up with this crap. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, what is this? Show us your papers? That's what they're doing. Just making sure you're driving safely there, Mr. Parks. Can I see your driver's license and your insurance card? Now, if you remember back when seatbelt laws came into existence here in the state of Ohio and in most states, a ticket would only be issued if you were stopped for something else. You ran a red light, you ran a stop sign, no directional, you were speeding, whatever. Now it's just random stops. Just stopping people. The man hassling you. And that's what this is. The man hassling you. The checkpoint, according to this article here from Cincinnati.com, the checkpoint is designed to promote awareness of seatbelt use during Ohio's Click It or Ticket seatbelt campaign. Tax dollars being spent to pull you over and hassle you on a weekend. We honor those who defended our freedoms. And we put up with this crap. We put up with it. It started with the OVI checkpoints, and now it's to this level. Because, as you know, with OVI checkpoints, they can pull over 3,000 cars. They may pull over 2 or 3 people, or cite 2 or 3 people for having a beer too many. 513-749-7000, 1-800-THE-BIG-1, and pound 700 on AT&T. Brandy is standing by with the news. We'll continue with your calls. And also in the next hour, in the 10 o'clock hour today, some of your favorite summertime songs and your favorite summertime memories. On the Tim Hendrick. You see him drooling this past week with the storms coming. At one point, he took off his jacket live on the air. It was unbelievable. Anyway, Tracy Jones. You hear him in the afternoons here on the Big One. Tracy will be at the Reds Hall of Fame on Thursday, June 9th. And it's going to be your chance to meet Tracy Jones. I understand Tracy is going to be at the Hall of Fame. And he'll pay his own admission into the Hall of Fame. He's just going to be wandering around. And, he's going to be, he's going to wander around and Well, he's jealous because he's not in the Hall of Fame at the Reds Hall of Fame. No, I'm only kidding. He's part of the Hall of Fame lecture series, an exclusive opportunity, it's written this way, an exclusive opportunity to hear Tracy's personal stories. Maybe about the Slumpusters. For more information, check out 700WLW.com and search the word events. So Memorial Day weekend, and a weekend we observe and honor those that have given their lives for our freedoms in our country. And what do they do in Milford? Pull people over. Show us your papers. They were doing this last night on a safety check. Also, I had an email from someone yesterday afternoon talking about the gauntlet you had to go through on I-71 yesterday afternoon. And, they're all the cops are on the interstates now because of people traveling for the long weekend. Simply incredible. All right, here's Tom on a cell phone, 700 WLW.
Yes, it happened to me yesterday, and I am very mad what happened.
Well, I'll bet you are, Tom. Joseph in Monroe, 700 WLW.
Hey, I just wanted to share an experience I had. About 5-7 years ago, I got pulled over for speeding. I was speeding. But the cop, when he came up to the window, I'm a pretty big guy, so I got to take my seatbelt off to get my wallet out. Well, he tried to cite me for not wearing a seatbelt. Well, I explained to him that I always wear a seatbelt, and he finally let me go. But when I went to court to contest the ticket, everybody there had a seatbelt violation, and the judge was just throwing them out. So I think it's just a big revenue scam.
Of course it is.
Whether you got it on or not, they're just out to get their extra money to pay for all this advertising they're putting on the radios and television.
Right, it's tax dollars paying for the commercials. And Joseph, so you took it off before the seatbelt off before the police officer walked up to your window?
Well, yeah, to get my, to have my
Sure.
license and registration ready before he gets up here. I've gotten a few speeding tickets in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I know the drill.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a few myself. Yeah, now for a primary cause, the primary cause to pull someone over is and we allow this. I mean, you can't travel with any freedom now. And, they're getting away with this because they're advertising it.
Well, I thought that the odd part was the judge was throwing every single one of the seatbelts out. It's like he knew it was junk.
Well, Joseph, what was the seatbelt fine?
I believe it was $40.
Okay.
I believe one person, for whatever reason, the judge threw out his other one and said, well, just pay the seatbelt.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a speeding, and they threw that one out and charged him the speeding. It was a $40 plus court cost.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. But it's like I said, it's been about 7 years, but I couldn't believe how many people were there with seatbelt violations.
Well, here's my rule of thumb right now. If you have any business or if you have any thought of driving through historic Milford, don't do it. Mary in Belmont, 700 WLW. Hey, Mary. Mary going once. Mary going twice. Jesse is in Middletown, 700 WLW.
Hey, it's not Steve, it's Jesse. How you doing this morning?
I'm all right, Jesse.
Well, look here, I'm a truck driver. I come in and out of town all the time, all different hours, basically at night. The law, I always tell my friends, if you miss a NASCAR race on Sunday, don't worry about it, man. You're going to catch the law harassment 125 daily. It starts at dusk. The harassment out here on the highways has superseded harassment. I mean, it's gone to it's terrible. I have cops. I get behind them going to work in the mornings, and they will pull off the side. I will go past them. They will jump back on and get right on the bumper of my car and then turn their lights on. Mm-hmm. And they're high beam lights. I mean, I see old people, 7 o'clock in the morning, and here you got a young, bald-headed police officer with a big old chip on his shoulder. I got to get somebody.
It's not them. See, but Jesse, it's not them personally.
Look.
They are being told to go out and you have to write so many tickets. You have to have so many tickets per month. There is a quota, and there are local cities and towns and townships and villages that a big part of their revenue is just writing tickets. You know, to your point, I mean, I drive to work on a Saturday morning. I'm driving, I normally leave my house about 20 minutes after 5. I drive through Newtown, which is the biggest speed trap in the tri-state area. And at one point on 32, it goes from 55 to 50 to 35, and then in a few hundred feet, it drops to 25. And a couple of months ago, I'm driving to work, and all of a sudden, here comes the Milford, or I should say the Newtown cop, right on my bumper. There, and it's like 5:20 in the morning, right on my bumper, just waiting for me to speed as the speed limit changes on 32. I thought to myself, you got something better to do with your time right now than me driving through at 5:20 in the morning? Come on. You know what? We ain't free anymore. We just are not free. Roy writes on my Facebook page, he says, let's see here, seatbelt violation in Goshen. Oh, and he brings up Goshen. I'll get to that after the break. $70. The ticket is $70 in Goshen. Wow. All right, time for the Frischs Big Boy, big play of the game from last night's win. The Reds winners in Atlanta. Looking for caller 7, 513-749-3700. Good luck from the home of the Cincinnati Reds. 700 WLW congratulates Ron Reynolds of Westchester. Today's Frischs Big Boy, big play of the day winner.
Fly ball hit back into right field, going back to the wall and making the, no, it's gone, a home run. That ball just continued to carry out and carry, and Hinsky ran out of room, and the ball goes over the wall, a 2-run home run for Ramon Hernandez, and Cincinnati adds 2 big runs to their lead here in the night to go out in front 5-1.
700 WLW congratulating Ron, the winner of a Frisch's gift pack, couple of tickets to a future Reds game, also registered for the grand prize trip out to Arizona. Spring Training 2012 from Frisch's and the big one, 700 WLW. And tonight, Reds take on Atlanta at Turner Field. Last night's game, it was 5-1. You heard Marty there calling the play-by-play. Our coverage starts about 6:06 tonight with the inside pitch, and the first pitch is at 7:10. And tomorrow it's the Indy 500. You know, last week, was it last week or the week before, I mentioned the Indy 500, and I for some reason, I thought it was the 95th running. This is the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500. And that race starts at noon tomorrow, and you can hear it on ESPN 1530. And also tomorrow it's the Coca-Cola 600, where Dale Earnhardt Jr. will lose another race, and that starts at 6 tomorrow. Oh, and the Indy 500, yeah, Danica Patrick will lose another race, too. Danica Patrick, the Dale Earnhardt Jr. of IndyCar racing. It's always a great weekend in the region with the Indy 500 happening in Speedway, Indiana. I had made mention in Goshen Township. Not only are they doing this in Milford, but also in Goshen Township as far as pulling people over as part of the National Click It or Ticket campaign. You know, the irony of this is when you're driving down the interstate and you see those overhead signs, there's never any accident on there. They just have these foolish phrases, and they have the Click It or Ticket campaign publicized on there as well. But in Goshen Township, where they will give you a $70 ticket, as we have found out, a $70 ticket for not having a seatbelt on, they're doing this through June 5th. Let's see here. Goshen is one of more than 900 police departments involved in this, as they put it, mobilization throughout Ohio. Mobilization. The purpose of the campaign is to encourage motorists to buckle up. All in the state of Ohio, where you can ride a motorcycle without a helmet. Look, look, if you want to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, I'm fine with that. But there is certain stupidity to this. That in a vehicle, a car, You have to buckle up, yet you can get on a motorcycle without a helmet. Officers in Goshen will be targeting drivers and passengers not wearing seatbelts and will be issuing citations for seatbelt and child restraint violations. A fine for a driver. Oh, wait a minute. My friend is wrong. Roy, you said $70 in Goshen? I should have pre-read this. You sitting down for this? For not wearing a seatbelt in Claremont County? $105. Didn't it start off to be like a fine of $5 or $10 or something? I mean, years ago. $105. And if you need any example that this isn't revenue enhancement and a money grab, man, you're missing out here. Rob writes on my Facebook page, he says the police would be better off to go to people's houses and put a gun to their head and force them to give up the money. It'd be a more honest approach than to hide behind some stupid campaign. Yeah, Rob, you're right. 513-749-7000 is our number here into the bunker. I'm Darryl Parks on 700 WL. Coming up in the 10 o'clock hour today, summer songs and the summer memories. We all have that one summer that sticks in our mind. The girlfriend, the weather, the friends. This was an anthem when I was in junior high. The song everyone wanted to light up to in the boys' bathroom. 5 in front of 10. I'm Darryl Parks on the big one, 700 WLW. And here is Sean. Sean, you're on the big one.
Yeah, I was just wondering if anybody had done the research as far as the Click It or Ticket campaign of the 900 police stations. Does anybody know if the fine for not having your seatbelt has increased in these 900 police stations?
Yeah, I believe it was the original the original fine. I said $5. Somebody called in and said it was $25. But to the point, this one fellow that's IMing me on Facebook, he said he was fined $65. A year later, his wife was fined $75. Now in Goshen, it's all happening in Goshen, it's $105. Had a trucker call in off the air and said that the fine for not wearing a seatbelt in Indiana for a trucker is $140. So it's a money grab. This is revenue enhancement at its worst.
I feel the people that are getting hurt worst by it are the actual police officers, because unfortunately it's not instilling faith in the American public where, to protect and serve. Now they're acting as a source of revenue. No,
they're acting as a collection agency. Right. That's what they're doing. They have a quota. And there was an article in the Cincinnati Enquirer about a year ago, and they had memos from police chiefs in some of these really small towns around the area. And Ohio is unique because, some of these small towns simply exist along the interstates, and they get all their revenue from these interstates. I made the points about a year ago that and they have changed this, by the way. If you were driving along 275, did you ever notice that once you were going west, and once you passed 71 heading towards Sharonville, as you entered Blue Ash, the speed limit dropped on 275 from 65 to 60 miles per hour for only a few hundred feet. And the reason that few hundred feet was there was, if you have your speedometer or you have you're going, let's say, 9 miles an hour over the speed limit. So you'd get clocked with a 5-mile-per-hour decrease in that speed limit. And the only reason it was there is so Blue Ash can get some revenue. Now, they have changed that. They changed it about 8 months ago. All right, coming up in the 10 o'clock hour here, we're going to get into summer songs. We'll continue with this topic. And also, Frankie M., meteorologist from Fox 19, joins me at 10:06. Talk a little bit about the severity of the storms happening not only in our area but across the Midwest, and the horrific story of last week in Joplin, Missouri. I mean, just amazing devastation that has happened in Missouri, in Joplin. Such a sad, sad story. This is the home of the Reds, 700 WL.